What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube and Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at again with another Just Chillin podcast call-in show episode. Coming off the heels of the Giants' second win, they're now 2-0 in the preseason, going on to the third and final game coming up this week against the New York Jets. This second win was, of course, against the Cincinnati Bengals. It was a very up and down game. It reminded me a little bit of the Patriots game last week, where we weren't necessarily we were down for, I'd say, going into the third and fourth quarter. Going into the second half, we were down just like in the Patriots game, and Davis Webb, just like in the Patriots game, led us from a kind of a comeback victory, a game-winning drive almost. But there's also a lot of credit to be given to the defense and Tamon Fox specifically, who had that great game-saving play at the end, a tackle that knocked the ball loose. New York was able to recover, and then bam, we come out with a W. Of course, that's the ups, great performance by Davis Webb. That's 2 weeks in a row now where I'm like, this man looks like our quarterback number 2. I think he's kind of earning that direct backup spot ahead of Tyrod, but also amazing game from Alex Bachman, fourth-year receiver out of West Virginia. Actually, no, am I mixing up Bachman with David Sills here? Y'all let me know, but I'm pretty sure Bachman is a fourth-year player. I think I might have mixed him up with David Sills when I said out of West Virginia. I'm sure one of y'all will correct me. But he's been kind of on the Giants preseason squad for a while now. I can't remember if he's been on any practice squads, but this is definitely his best year with us so far, and he's making a great case for himself to make that 53-man roster. Not the only receiver on the depth chart that's been making a case. Richie James, through training camp, has been making a case. David Sills, as usual, is making a case. And Colin Johnson has probably been the most consistent wide receiver on the depth chart in terms of, providing us with an actual maybe surprise and making that 53-man roster in 2 weeks or whenever they decide it. I know Colin Johnson, he had games with us last year. He came in and he kind of looked like what Kenny Golladay should look like at times, starting a lot of memes from Giants fans. But the injuries, that's what's been the worst thing in this past couple of days, as you see the title that I have right down here. The NFL injury gods definitely got something against the New York Giants, man. Kayvon Thibodeau, he got that chop block by Thaddeus Moss, which is a legal block. Doesn't mean it's not dirty. It's just legal. It should be an illegal block in the NFL. We are so lucky that his ACL is intact. I think it's a sprained MCL is what they're saying, and he's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. So there's a chance he misses the first 2 weeks of the season. And if he needs to miss the first 2 weeks of the season, I say let him miss it. I'm not going to gamble with the health of our 5th overall pick and the guy that's supposed to be the star of our defense, the next great Giants pass rusher. We still have Azeez. And for those of you that don't know, it is a small sample size this offseason. But Azeez has been our best pass rusher by pass rush win percent and pressure rate so far. And you guys know I'm a big fan of Azeez Ojulari, so I'm not necessarily too surprised. But I think we'll be fine with him and Leo, and then the blitzing help from Wink Martindale. So if he needs to rest, let him rest. The guy that I got up on my screen right now on the right side, Darian Beavers. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Darian Beavers as well. He's unfortunately out for the entire season with a torn ACL, and this really does make me feel bad because he was making such a great case for himself. Thank you, Pandemonium, for the $2 super chat. I will definitely get to that in a second. But Darian Beavers was making such a great case for himself to actually be that linebacker 2 over the course of the entire offseason, from rookie minicamp to mandatory minicamp to training camp and even preseason, the first preseason game. He looked legit, and now he tears his ACL. Mara got to do something about that turf. We're going to talk about that with whoever calls in first. And, of course, Graham Gano got a concussion. Our kicker, for crying out loud, got one. And then one of the depth receivers, CJ Board, I think is broken ribs. It's just all over the place, man. Let me first get to everybody in the chat. Shout out to John Doe, Isaac Moore, Latin No Way, Island Boy, King James III, Book and Tackles, Mr. Mini Guy. And shout out to Pandemonium for the $2 super chat. He says, Hub, do you think Wentz and Hurts are better than DJ? All right. I feel like I stepped into a minefield, and I got to be careful with my answer with where I step. Jalen Hurts right now, I do think, is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones He's a better thrower of football, but maybe not for long because Jalen Hurts looks like he's improved a lot. And then with Carson Wentz, it's hard to say because I don't know which version of Carson Wentz we're going to get. We all know there's a good version and a bad version of Carson Wentz. The bad version of Carson Wentz, I feel like, needs to get more heat than he already does. The bad version of Carson Wentz can end up being the worst quarterback in this division. The good version of Carson Wentz, and no, I'm not talking about MVP version. I'm talking about good version, which some Colts fans saw a little bit of last year. I think that he is slightly better than Daniel Jones. But let's see how everything plays out this year. That's what I'll say. Giants fans, I don't know, man. We shouldn't be necessarily surprised or offended if myself or anyone says Daniel Jones is like the worst quarterback in the division because he hasn't proven anything. As crazy as it sounds, every other quarterback in the division right now has proven themselves to some degree. Of course, Carson had that 2017 season, and then he was okay with the Colts. Jalen Hurts helped his team make the playoffs last year. Dak Prescott has been one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL since his rookie year, right? Daniel Jones, not his fault, but nothing has been proven yet. Let's see right here. What up, King James? He says, Eagles fans checking in. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for checking in. He says, Daniel Jones needs an O-line. Completely agree with you. And I'm glad to say that it looks like both of our tackles are bookends. Shout out to the user in the chat called Bookend Tackles. I love Andrew Thomas. I unabashedly and unbiasedly say that I think he can be a top 10 tackle in the league this year. Evan Neal, I'm not putting that high expectations on him yet. He's a rookie. I think he's going to have his growing pains. But from what I saw, I'm very happy with the performance. If there's anything with the offensive line I'm concerned about, it's the center and left guard position. I think Mark Lewinsky is going to hold it down at right guard. I still don't know who our left guard is, and I still don't know who our center is because the Giants, as of right now, are on their 7th center throughout this offseason. And that's not even like we ran through 7 actual centers, but we ran through 7 players that had to play at the center position. We're very, very thin at the center position right now. It's really bad. Nick Gates can't come back soon enough. Joe Shane's going to have to work some magic to sign some type of vet center or vet interior lineman to have in here, either as a starter or definitely as backup. We don't really got much. Bernie, he says, what is the latest on Kayvon? So far, all that we know, like I said, don't quote me, 3 to 4 weeks. In fact, do quote me. Let me just look it up and actually pull up an article for you, and I'll read it to you. But I'm pretty sure it's just 3 to 4 weeks. He may miss week 1, also may miss week 2. And in my opinion, if he misses week 2, that's fine. I don't want to play with his health right there. Yup, sprained MCL. Just confirming what my thoughts was. And he's apparently getting a second opinion from Dr. James Andrews. I'm guessing a well-respected doctor around the NFL. But definitely missing 3 weeks. I'll give you that right now. And NFL Live TV, that is a spam account. Let me just quickly hide that user from the channel. And guys, feel free to call in. It is the call-in show after all. The link is pinned currently in the chat. Any and everybody is welcome to do so. Let me post it once again. You don't need to show your face, so you can have your camera off. It's just audio. It is a call-in kind of like a radio type thing. So feel free to do that while I pull up some of these stats from the Bengals game real quick. What up, Timothy? He says, should the Giants trade Aaron Robinson and a 2023 second rounder to the Broncos for Lloyd Cushenberry since Nick Gates started the 2022 season on the PUP list? I wouldn't mind having Lloyd Cushenberry on our team. I think he was somebody that I wouldn't have minded drafted. When did he get drafted? Was it last year or 2 years ago? I don't know if I'd give up a second-round pick for him. Has he been that good for the Broncos? And normally I would be okay with giving up Aaron Robinson, but we're also thin at defensive back, cornerback. The 2 spots we're most thin at right now, center/guard and cornerback. We need as much help as we can get on both fronts right there. So the reason I'm pulling up these stats from Giants at Bengals, is because we got to talk about Davis Webb right now. I know not a lot of people like to talk about the 3rd string quarterback on their team, but I feel like he's making a legitimate push to be our actual backup this year. Now, Tyrod, historically, over the course of his career, has of course been a great backup quarterback, and for a short time was a starter with the Bills. But he would have been a great backup quarterback for us if it wasn't for the fact that I've seen him in person at training camp, and I've seen him play these preseason games, and in my opinion, he looks kind of cooked. He looks kind of washed. I hate to use that term, but he looks like he took a step back from the last time I saw him, which was Houston last year. And definitely he's not the same as he was when he was with the Chargers and the Browns, which was several years ago. But he looks bad, man. I've seen a lot of medicine balls. I've seen a lot of inaccurate throws. I just don't think there's going to be, for the crowd out there that thinks Tyrod is better, you're not getting a better quarterback. Because there is a crowd out there that just sort of hates Daniel Jones, wants Tyrod to start week 1. That's not going to happen. There's a gap between Daniel and Tyrod, and I used to think there was a gap between Tyrod and Davis Webb. Now I think Davis Webb is actually a little bit better, and I think that he should be our backup quarterback. I'm talking about, we got 2 games of him leading us to victory now, and 2 games where he looked good. He looked sharp, and this is a vanilla offense he's playing in. Shout out to Mike B, man. I'm glad you got to make it, bro. Completely understand if you got that. Well, Jesus, 80 hours. Is that even legal? Bro, how is that possible? You're probably making a joke, but I understand, man. Long time, long hours, probably, bro. But Davis Webb, 22 of 27, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Let me pull up what he did against the Patriots, and I'm adding game-winning touchdown drive, right? Let's do Giants versus Patriots, where we also were on a game-winning touchdown drive. Now, that's where Tyrod had a little bit more time. Davis, I think, only played maybe the 3rd and 4th, or some of the 3rd, most of the 4th. 8 of 16, 51 yards. All right, not blowing you out your water, right? Not blowing you out the water with the 8 of 16, 51. But you see him looking better. In camp even, you saw him looking better. Maybe I'm jumping the gun, but another reason I would kind of like Davis to be our QB2 is our QB1 in Daniel Jones is injury prone. Let's call it what it is. He is injury prone. I don't want my backup quarterback to also be injury prone, whether it's his fault or not. Tyrod's been injury prone, right? Davis Webb, to my knowledge, is not injury prone. Know what I'm saying? So move him up the depth chart a little bit, maybe. Just gonna put that out there. What up, Flex Lopez? He says, I'm ecstatic by how the New York Giants playing smart, but the aggressiveness, I love it. That's how we will win games. We look pretty aggressive on both sides of the ball. And once again, this is with vanilla schemes on both sides because we're in the preseason. I'm so excited to see what this offense is going to look like week 1. Shout out to Justin Pennick. I had him on Young Guns podcast last week. This week, the Young Guns, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. will be on Kids Blues channel, and the guest will be Lauren from She Got Sports. I'll double check either tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon to make sure we're still on. But that should be the next guest. But nevertheless, Justin last week on the show brought up a great point that I feel like it's common sense that all Giants fans have it in their heads, but it's currently in the back of our minds, so we don't talk about it much, and we probably should. And that was that the biggest acquisition, the most important acquisition, and the most exciting acquisition of the offseason for the New York Giants was the upgrade in offensive scheme that came with hiring both Brian Daboll as our head coach and Mike Kafka as our offensive coordinator. Now, before we saw these games, these preseason games where once again we saw a stripped down version of it, in training camp, we saw so many things that are not necessarily new to football, but is new to the New York Giants because they haven't done it really in recent memory. Stuff like wide receiver motions, pre-snap motions, things that look more like Kansas City type of offense, and that's what I've noticed. I've noticed a heavy influence that I'm going to assume is from Mike Kafka when I was expecting maybe a little bit more Bills influence, but maybe that changes during the regular season, or if it stays the same, it's a sign that Daboll trusts Kafka as the first-time offensive coordinator to kind of have his reins on this offense. Either way, with that stripped-down version that we're seeing, we look more aggressive. We look more in tune with the modern day NFL. Our passing game is much improved. It helps out the offensive line as well, because just the offensive scheme is gonna go with the blocking scheme. Our running game looks improved. Like we all saw that during the Patriots game. Our running game was probably the most impressive part of that game against the Patriots. We can score. We're not necessarily struggling in the red zone. We can actually move the ball down the field. Like these are all things that any average to good team in the NFL should be able to do. And we haven't been able to do it for the past 2 years. And even before that, we had various struggles where there's game we just couldn't do it on a regular basis, I'd say for like 5 years. And I'm so excited to see that. But once again, what is supposed to be a lesser version of what we're going to see week 1. I can't wait to see Kadarius Toney in this offense. Can't wait to see Wan'Dale Robinson in this offense. And with guys like David Sills and Colin Johnson also benefiting from it, I have some hope that if Kenny Golladay puts in the work, if he puts in the effort, that he is also going to benefit from it. And of course, I can't wait to see Saquon in the offense. I mentioned earlier how much the running game looks improved. Saquon, I believe, is truly healthy. He looks healthy to me. He looks like he's back. He should benefit from this scheme as well. And of course, if everybody that I just mentioned is benefiting, including the offensive line, and we do have upgrades at some positions there, Daniel Jones should benefit. But that's where what I have written right here comes into play. Gotta stay healthy. None of that matters if the team is consistently injured. Let me get some of the comments from the chat right here. Mike says 7 days a week, no days off at that. Man, Mike. Oh, I'm sorry for you, man. I hope you could rest at some time, man. Bernie says, another guy blames the turf the Giants play on. You think they should install natural grass and they're playing on prescription turf right now? I don't know what kind of turf they're playing on right now, but I also blame the turf. There's only 4 teams in the NFL that play on the specific turf that the Giants and Jets play on. Is the Vikings, I believe the Bengals, the Giants and the Jets. And the Giants and Jets, by and far, lead away the NFL in terms of games missed due to injury. And with those 4 specific teams, they're like double the other 2 teams. And the Giants are even ahead of the Jets. What that leads me to believe is that, yes, the turf does have an effect on it. But also, even though we're having the same turf as, say, the Vikings, we have way more injuries than them. What in the world is our groundskeeping? Like, whoever's in charge of groundskeeping at MetLife, why hasn't John Mara hired some new people? Because clearly we're doing something wrong with this turf compared to everybody else. I know we're in like an open stadium. The Bengals are also in an open stadium, so I can't even use that. And also, I don't like our medical staff. That's just me. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know I've been kind of having like a war against the medical staff. And Ronnie Barnes, who is a very accomplished doctor in the NFL. We know there's guys that go to him for second opinions, but he's been kind of bad for us over the course of the past 10 years. Like, our medical staff is a problem. There's no other team that's been as injured as the Giants over the past 10 years. And I congratulations to Ronnie Barnes. He's getting that Ring of Honor this year. I hope after this year he retires and we get some new people in here. One of the 2 things I really wanted Joe Schoen to do when he stepped in was fire some people in the front office and hire some newer people to replace that, include analytics a little bit, and also get some new medical people in here. He's done one of 2, and he suggested in his introductory press conference that he was going to do that second one with the medical team. NYG Edit says, Giants can't play any starters on Sunday after what happened last game. I don't blame you. We really had a lot of injuries last game, man. I will be kind of scared as well. Whatever Dayball does, though, I'm going to trust them. I'm going to trust them for now. Nova, what's up, man? How you doing? Timothy says, should the MetLife Stadium get rid of turf and replace it with grass? Yup. Bookend Tackle says, love that wink call at the end of the game. Protect the quick sideline throw. Looked like Fox came off the sideline. Had to replay to make sure. I agree. That man looked like he came out of a cannon, too. They completely knew what the Bengals offense was going to do. If you go back and you look at the defensive players, they knew they were going for the sideline. Tamon Fox did a great job, man. I love it. Mike B says, DJ looks good out there. Hopefully the team can stay healthy. At this point, the turf plays a part in it, but it's just like I really do feel like bad luck plays a part in it as well, because we didn't necessarily draft guys that have like an injury history to them. Like, let's remember, Saquon is considered injury prone now, but when we drafted him, he was considered one of the safest prospects because he was never injured his entire life. It's like Blake Martinez as well. Yo, I made a joke about this, and I regret it because I feel like I put it out into the universe and it happened. When we signed Blake Martinez, I was so happy. One of the reasons was because I'm like, this dude never misses a game. He's completely reliable. And as soon as he becomes a Giants, he plays his first year, second year, bam, ACL. It's like, are you serious? He comes to the Giants and all of a sudden he tears his ACL after not missing like a single game in his career? Like, come on, man. There's got to be some type of bad luck to it. Isaac Moore says, you can have a good scheme, but still have to execute. You are completely correct. What up, Daniel Barry? He says, official Rams 2022 champs. How's your Rams doing, man? How are your Rams doing? Oh, that reminds me. I don't know why, but for some reason the Rams remind me of Hard Knocks. I got to catch that new episode. Does it come out late tonight or does it come out early tomorrow? I always watch it on Wednesday morning right before I go to work. I've been absolutely loving this season of Hard Knocks. Y'all let me know what you think about it. I personally think it's one of the most entertaining seasons, and I really feel for the Detroit Lions team. Like, I'm going to be cheering for them this season. I want to see them succeed, and that's not necessarily the case with all the Hard Knocks. I remember with the Oakland Raiders one, I was kind of met on. It was entertaining, but it wasn't really a team I cheer for. Definitely would not cheer for the Cowboys whatever year they had it. And with the Rams, they were also a good one, but not necessarily a team that I cheered for. Like, it had a lot of players that I liked on there, like Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. But it's like, it's like a team that I'm kind of neutral on. For some reason, this Lions team is very likable and very easy to cheer for, and their coaching staff as well. I just like it, man. I just like the Lions. Let's see. Bookend says, we get some easy throws and yards so far. Just having more high-low routes helps open things up. Having a little bit more of everything, Bookend, open things up. I feel like all we did with Jason Garrett was run up the middle consistently, curl routes, and comeback routes. I feel like that was the entirety of his playbook. I'm not even joking, man. I feel like we maybe did one crossing route like the entire year. It was ridiculous. Let's see. What's up at tight end? Currently, Daniel Bellinger is still slated, in my opinion, to be the starter. I'm not sure if we have anybody new. I mean, do we have an injury at tight end? Yeah, I still don't know what's up with Ricky Seals-Jones. He's been missing for so long. And we probably should make a move to bring in some other tight end. Like, at this point, I'd sign, if we have the cap space, Eric Ebron, just to have some nice depth there. And we got the first caller tonight, guys. Give a big shout out and welcome to Mike Green. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
Yo, what's good?
What's good, bro? What's up?
Man, not much. Just appreciating another W, sir.
2-0, man.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You want to start off?
Looking real.
You want to start off with the positives or the negatives? Because there was a lot of positives and a lot of negatives from this game, and it's not even. I feel like let's get the bad stuff out the way, man. Give me your thoughts on all the injuries and everything, man.
The injuries are tough. It's really hard to deal with. It's like, when can we catch a break? When is going to be our turn? Because every time you look up somebody important that means something to our season getting hurt.
I know I was scared when I saw Kayvon knee bend like that, bro. I was scared when I saw Kayvon's knee bend like that. I'm telling you, Thaddeus Moss needs to watch his back, bro.
But here's the key. You want to know what's crazy? What if the Bengals let him go and he becomes with us because of our tight end issues?
I wouldn't want to sign. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I would not want to sign that man, bro. Just because you endangered our 5th overall pick and like future what's supposed to be the next great Giants pass rusher. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. I understand that. I mean, but the push come to shove, the man can play. He would just had a dirty moment, but he can play. And that's Randy Moss' son, so that kind of speaks for itself. But special teams, it need a little work. We get better in this kickoff coverage.
Yeah, what's up with Coach T-Mac, yo? Is it just me, Mike, or like T-Mac, Thomas McGahee, our special teams coordinators, for those of you that don't know? I feel like the past 2 years, special teams have taken like a step back. It's not like a major step back, but it's noticeable. Whereas like in years before, we were always like one of the better special teams unit in the NFL. What do you think's happening there?
Sometimes the focus to details are when they're supposed to be. And how can I say, if you don't take it serious as you should, then you're going to get what you got Sunday night. Like, okay, I know I'm R4. I'm supposed to stay inside the hash. I got it. Why are we going over this in film? Why are we constantly talking about this? I've been hearing about this since July. I get it. But when we get on the field and your ass is getting burnt for 80 plus yard kick returns, now you see why you going over it over and over and over again. The attention to details is important. So if you don't pay attention to those details, then this is the results you're going to get. And the same go for kickoff return. You just can't be like, I know who to block. No, you don't. And CJ Boyd, you gotta hold on to the football. You can't turn the ball over in that
Yeah.
situation.
And
Because
hopefully CJ
that
has a good
is a
recovery too,
moment.
because he was one of the injuries that happened, one of the many injuries that happened.
Yeah, I know. And then whoever tried to pick the ball up, just fall on the damn ball. Quit trying to be the hero and be the good teammate and just recover the fumble and not try to get on ESPN top 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple. Um, but defense played well because they were put in a lot of terrible situations,
Yeah.
but they didn't give up
I like the
touchdowns
way the defense looked,
like
and I
that.
feel like they the secondary looked a bit better compared to the against the Patriots too.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a new system. You gotta learn. You gotta learn this new system. So it takes time. It ain't gonna be in 2, 3 days and you get it. No. And y'all gotta realize too, this is not the real defensive calls yet. This is still vanilla on both sides.
Mike, I don't know if you were in here from the beginning. That was like the first thing I said. I'm like, I'm so excited for both sides of the ball because both sides look good, and they look good with what is a skeleton scheme. And I gave a shout out to
I'm
Justin Pennant because Justin was on Young Guns last week, and he said something that I said is common sense to a lot of fans, but it's just like in the back of our minds. You know, it's not at the forefront, and that's that the biggest acquisition this offseason was the upgrade in scheme.
most definitely. You know what? I'm gonna put it like this. People don't start putting in their game plans for week one until, believe it or not, this week. That's when the game plans start for week one, the last week of preseason.
Mm-hmm.
This week is about who's going to fill out the roster. As far as the starters, you're not going to see the starters. You're going to see the backups because the backups are fighting for roster spots. They're trying to see who wants it more right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the starters are getting the game plan and scheme together for the Tennessee Titans starting this week.
What do you think is most
They're watching.
important to game plan for going up against the Titans?
Well, first and foremost, you got to stop Derrick Henry. That is their offense.
Mm-hmm.
And the Tennessee Titans are a fast rushing defensive unit with a ball hawking secondary on the back end, especially Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard is one of the best safeties in the National Football League. You can't ignore him.
Mm-hmm.
He's very smart, very instinctive, and he can turn a game in the instant of a snap. But when we have the weapons that we got and the scheme that we got, we can easily manipulate one safety and to think he's seeing one thing and hit him with something else. So defensively, stop the run game.
Mm-hmm.
Offensively, keep their defense on their toes.
What do you mean by keep the defense on their toes, though? Be a little specific. What they got to do that?
All right, for an example, let's say 1st and 10. You run a counter. They just say a simple counter with Saquon Barkley, right? Then 2nd and 10, if you feel like you got good positive right game, you hit them with a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Then if we get a 3rd and short, now you got options. You can run a dive, you can run another counter, you can run a toss, or you can run a read, or even better, you could do an RPO.
Mm-hmm.
And you just mix it up as the drive goes. So now, if your offensive line is getting movement and they're thinking instead of attacking, you as a defender, you don't know what to do. You're not just reacting, you're thinking first. And them split seconds matter because that determine if I can get behind you on a crossing route or a lineman get up on you before you even realize and Saquon gone past you for 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 plus yard gains.
Yeah.
So it's all about how they are trying to attack you because you'll know in the first 3 drives how they might want to play this. Because if they see something that work, what the NFL defense does, they see something that work, they're going to keep doing it till you force them to leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like back in 2018, remember how Dallas kept blitzing us because we couldn't block to save our life? And Eli kept getting killed.
Yeah.
By the time they stopped blitzing, the game was over. It was under 2 minutes. Like, we don't need to blitz. Oh, you scored? Congratulations. You got to get this onside kick. And then still score in less than 15 seconds. It's not happening. We
Mm-hmm.
won. That's when they'll back off. But outside of that, if it works, they're going to keep doing it. Offenses have the same type of mindset and philosophy. If I see you can't cover these double moves, I'm finna keep calling these double moves till your corner quit biting.
Yeah. I got a question here from the chat
So,
for you. And well, 2 questions
what's up?
actually. The first one from Flex Lopez. He says, "What's your thoughts on Bellinger?"
Bellinger would be okay. It's an adjustment from college to the NFL. You know, um, and a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of pressure on this man
Yeah,
because,
there is, because in my opinion, he's the slated guy to be the number 1 tight end.
yeah, guess who he's replacing? A guy that was drafted 17th overall. They're supposed to be fantastic as a receiving tight end, but that's a conversation for another day. So he hears it, he feels it, but he'll be okay. The more game reps he get under his belt, the better he'll be.
And then the second question is, does Alex Bachman make the 53-man roster? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. He earned a spot, yo. It's just, but at the same time, we got a couple other receivers on the depth chart that's really fine for a spot too. Richie James, Colin Johnson, they're making a case for themselves too.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this. If he have another game like he did against Cincinnati, there's no way you can keep him off the 53. Because you want to know what this preseason performance remind me of, who they couldn't keep off the 53, and he wound up being a big player for us.
I swear to
Number
God, if you
80.
say Victor Cruz, bro, do not say Victor Cruz.
So Victor Cruz had 4 touchdowns in the preseason. They got him a job.
Listen,
If
I'm
he
all
catches two,
for receivers having great games in the preseason, but you know how many times I've heard the Victor Cruz comparison in like the past 5 years, though, bro?
yeah, I know it's been overused, but
Yeah,
I'm
it's been
saying
overused.
this,
Yeah,
but this actually something you can compare and it makes sense because Victor Cruz actually did what Alex Bachman is doing. He had 10 catches, over 100 yards, and 3 TDs, not 2, against the Jets. And then he came back and did the same thing against Cleveland. Just remember, y'all, we had 4 preseason games back then.
yeah.
Um, that there alone. Oh,
What's up, man? You're cutting in. You're
oh,
coming in and
one
out. Your
second.
internet connection.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting the call.
I agree with Flex Lopez,
I'm
man. Cruz
coming.
one of a kind, just
I
like
gotta let
Burst.
but
All right, Mike, it's
but
okay, bro. Because I
yeah.
have Manny in the back as well. So let me get your wrapping up thoughts, and then I'll pop Manny in.
Hey man, I told you I was gonna be a different vibe and a different change this year. So keep the positive energy and let's go Big Blue.
Thank you, man. Have a good one, bro.
You too.
Shout out to Mike Green, man. Always love having Mike Green on. Now, shout out to Manny from Bacon Tackles Podcast. What's up, Manny? How you doing, bro?
What's good, man? How you doing? Love the cut. Finally
I'm
got the
good.
mop cleaned up.
I got it cleaned up. I think you're the only person that said love it because everybody else was like, bring the big hair back.
Nah, man, you gotta always clean the lettuce up. You always got to. I appreciate you for having me on. I'm about to get on with Tony. We've been doing our pods lately on breaking tackles, so figured I'll come over here just before we get on there and just see what's up. How you doing? How you feeling? How you
I'm
feeling
good.
before the?
I'm feeling very up and down because there was a lot of positives from that game, but as you see, there was also so many injuries that it's like, how do I feel after that game?
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. And I was a part of the mindset of like kind of annoyed that we keep talking about injuries when like we're not. This isn't just a Giants issue. Everyone wants to blame the turf and Miss Dr. Barnes and the training staff and Dave Gettleman and all this stuff, which there's probably some validity to it as well. But we're not the only team. I mean, the Bucks have lost, and not just like guys that are injured. They've like lost starters on their offensive line. I mean, I don't know if we've even realized I think Wirfs isn't even practicing right now. He's dealing
Mm-hmm.
with an oblique. The Bills are dealing with injuries as well. It's not just the one thing that does stink is seeing like the rookies more than anything not being able to play. Like we were just talking about this week back, bro. I was hot. We were both high on Beavers. We both liked Beavers and what he's done.
Torn
So it
ACL,
stunk
man.
that he couldn't play. McKeithen, who knows what he could have been, but that's
There's,
another
I think
stink as
it's
well too.
7 or 8 of our drafted players are currently injured from this draft class.
Yeah,
That's terrible,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. And then I don't know. For me, I guess to me injuries are like you can't play, you're not on the field, but also too it's hard to gauge it because like it is preseason and does it make sense for a Cordell Flott to go out there when his groin isn't 100%, or for like Joshua Zudu to go out there if he's not 100. I mean, I'm obviously the big thing is Kayvon being injured, which was tough, but wasn't the obviously now we know what it is. He's going to be able to play this season. It wasn't a dirty hit. It was a legal hit. It just stunk that it happened in the preseason like that. And maybe better technique. But I mean, it's hard to go ahead and get at somebody just for the rules because just a week ago Daniel Bellinger did it as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy that Kayvon got that tiger blood in him and is going to heal up fast.
Listen, if Kayvon needs to take a little extra something, bro, we're not gonna say nothing. All right, that's all we're gonna say. We're
No,
not gonna say nothing.
nah, let him chill, let him do his thing, let him relax. I agree
E-
with you 100%.
Exactly. Let me see these right here. Flex says, "Can't nobody be Victor." Shout out to Taj. He says, "Colin Johnson been balling." Yeah, like
Yeah.
Bachman. Let me get your thoughts on Bachman. It was the Alex Bachman game. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean he looked good. He looked great. Obviously it's against twos and threes and guys, insurance salesmen and bankers, but he looked really good. And this is a guy who's been on the practice squad for a while now, so it's always good to see those guys ball out and do their thing. I don't know if it's going to be enough for him to get on the 53 right, 53 man roster. I don't know if it is. I would tend to believe probably not, but there's still. I mean, especially because now Sterling Shepard, I feel like he's going to be on the roster come opening Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since they didn't put him on the PUP missed 4 games automatically list. He, if they didn't do that, that kind of, I don't know, maybe the optimism in me is thinking that. Plus, Giants Insider has been on this from day one, saying he doesn't believe that this man, he believes, like, you can't really say he'll be there game one, but there's a chance, and that's crazy to say back in December. So I could see that kind of maybe muddying up any plans they had for Bachman. But I mean, I think like Mike said, shout out Mike. He said it pretty, spot on. If Bachman does another game performance like he did this last game, I mean, maybe it just makes the decision a lot harder. But I think if nothing else, practice squad, calling up a game here and there. I think our wide receiver group is a little better than we thought it was coming into the season.
Depth-wise, I think it is because our starters, they got injury problems. I see Flex asking Hub what you think about Tony. I mean, I've had the same opinion on Kadarius Toney that I've had for a year now. I love the guy. I feel like he has incredible potential, and that is tenfold in this specific new scheme that we're gonna have. If you're talking about injury-wise, I hope he could get healthy soon because it's kind of like I think they're just being careful with him. I don't think it's a serious injury. I think they're just letting him sit out before it becomes a serious injury.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well too. I think he's just taking it easy, kind of like Leo, our guy Leo, Big Cat, Lion King.
I swear to God, Giants fans need to put more respect on Leonard Williams. Bro.
Yes, and need to go to the Hub shop and get that Lion King cut up because it's decent. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I shout out 97th best player in the NFL. Who knew?
The only player that made the top 100
Yeah, I'm kind of holding out hope that Andrew Thomas might slip in there in the top 20, but it's not gonna happen. But I think I think the team is just being very measured with the injuries, and Dayball's been he's kind of mentioned it, and a lot of that's kind of like the Buffalo Bills, what they do as well too. That's the school of thought they come from, is let's get these guys healthy when it matters and let's manage it, because especially when you get to this point, I get it. You want to practice with your teammates, especially on the offensive side. You want to have that scheme. You want to have that, that cohesiveness and everything. But they're also guys that have been playing football their whole lives. So, maybe being on the field is important, but for some guys, maybe it's not as important as a Daniel Bellinger, who's a rookie who needs to be on there, or a Bachman or Sills who doesn't get a lot of one reps. Maybe, and Colin Johnson as well. Shout out UT. I think for those guys it's important, but maybe a guy like a Sterling Shepard, a Kadarius Toney, you would want to see him out there maybe a little bit more. But also too, if he's showing you what he needs to show you in the in the film room, in the weight room, and the doctors clear him, then why make him play the preseason if it doesn't really benefit him for just being out there for 19? I don't, especially because the first game of the preseason, Wando Robinson, I don't even think they threw the ball at him. And in this last game, Kenny Golladay wasn't.
I was going to say, Wandale was targeted more this game, and he didn't really have an impact, but I'm not worried once again. Right, I was going to say your thoughts on Kenny G, because the Young Gun stream that I did, I believe I titled it, "The Kenny Disrespect is Getting Out of Hand," or was that my last one? One of the streams I did last week, I was like, the disrespect kind of getting out of hand.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the disrespect is getting out of hand. I am concerned. I am worried. When you see,
I'm in the same boat. I'm concerned and worried. I feel like people should be, but not to what people are saying. Yeah,
I'm not going to go crazy over what Allen Iverson literally said is practice, not a game. It's practice, and it kind of goes off of this whole thing when people are dissecting everything Daniel Jones does. It's practice, and it's the preseason. We're going to get close to being able to really, have our eyes on DJ and really be able to judge him. It's hard to judge him right now with everything it is. But, I kind of can agree. Let's let Kenny Golladay play this season out. He's been healthy. He's been practicing. He hasn't had any, he's had few, personal days here and there. And, he's saying all the right things. And I get everyone's like, well, he got paid, of course. But at the end of the day, what did he get? Top 5, top 6 wide receiver number. Yeah, at that time it was top 5 money. It wasn't the top of the market, and he's still young. He's probably going to want to go back to the bank again, and he's not dumb. He understands that this is a new regime that has no ties to him, that didn't sign him. He knows that if they could cut him by next year and take that cap hit, because more than likely, there may be a rookie quarterback deal on the team, which is going to help be able to take those types of hits towards the cap and stuff, So I think KG will be fine. How good will he be? I'm hopeful that he'll have a good season, for sure. So I'm just excited we're 2 weeks away. Last preseason game is this Sunday. I'm excited that we're getting close to being able to finally have some live bullets to judge. for sure.
Let me get a couple comments here from the chat. Sober Party, what up, man? How you doing? C Bands, what's up? How you doing? J Fed said Johnson lost me when he fumbled the first game pass. I'm sure he can. Like Colin Johnson's been consistent though. I mean, he played real game time for us last year. We'll see if he makes it through the year. Like I said, there's 3 dudes right now that are really 4 dudes even that are battling out, man. Johnson, Sills, Bachman, and James. Like I'm a really big fan of Richie James.
I think Richie James is on the team.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of that, man.
Yeah,
so,
if I had to guess, it would be Richie James and Colin Johnson. So we'll see. It's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna hop off real quick, get on with my boys at 3T. I just want to say one last thing, Hub. I appreciate you, man. You're an inspiration to all of us content creators, man, that do it. And you're personable. You're awesome. I appreciate you. And then for your sake, I hope the Giants have a great season because, you deserve to be happy, young man. You work a lot.
Nah, Manny, that's really humbling, bro. I really do appreciate that. Are you going to be going to any games this year at MetLife or not?
I was planning to go to the Cowboys Giants game in Dallas because I live in Texas.
Yeah.
But it's on Thanksgiving, and I love my wife and family. Yeah. Can't obviously do that. But, hey,
I don't know. If you can make it, if it's possible, there's a little group going to the Chicago game. I know that's one of the games we're going to be wearing the 86 jerseys.
Oh, yeah. I got my LT old school jersey in the closet.
I'll be at the Chicago game, and then also later on in the year, I'm going to be at the Lions game, both at MetLife.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely got to start getting to more games. Definitely got to start reaching back out, and for sure. And, hey, maybe I'll go to maybe the Cowboys will host the Giants in the wild card game, and I'll be able to go to that.
Oh, bro, if that happens, yo, you got to get some good footage. That's all I'm saying.
Good footage and
some good tailgating
and some people around me because I'm Dallas is wild.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, Kush. Thank you
so much,
guys.
Make sure please check out the Breaking Tackles podcast. Go ahead, give them a sub and a listen. Have a good one, Manny. Before I pop on Awesomeness Sports back here, let me get a couple more of these comments from the chat. Mike B says 6-week vacation for Tibbs. I don't know if I'll call it a vacation, but he's gonna have some time off. If it's 6 weeks though, they said 3 to 4. I think at most he's gonna miss 2 games from the regular season. We'll see. We shall see. Let's see here. Shep won't finish the season healthy. That's basically a given at this point. Let's keep it real. What up, Vizet? How you doing, bro? Why are you typing the name of teams and then K at the end? He says Bengals K, Mets K. I don't get it. NYG Edit says the Giants will be ruining Thibodeau's career if they rush him back for week 1. Completely agree. Yo, listen, if this man needs to be out for 6 weeks, like Mike B says, then let him be out for 6 weeks. Do not rush him back. There's no reason to rush him back right now. Beginning his career, not really a team that's going to be fine for a playoff spot. Let him take his time with his recovery, man. Bill Ken says Leo is a beast. No reason for the hate other than the ties to Gelman. Thank you. That's really all you can hate him for. You shouldn't even be hating on him by the way that he got here. He's the only, I keep saying it, he's the only player on our team that is top 5 at his position. Leonard Williams is a top 5 defensive tackle in the league, whether some people want to admit it or not. He's the best player in our defense and potentially the best overall player on our team. But no, it's hard for some Giants fans to admit that. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean, my bad, Latin? I didn't see anything, bro. Well, if it's your bad, then thank you for owning up to it. I didn't really see anything about that. Ligma, I ain't going to say anything to that. Let me pop on Awesomeness Sports. What up, man? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm good.
That's good, man.
What you got for me? I think this is a first-time caller, so how you doing, bro?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good now. I'm Gucci.
All right, you want to head into Bengals talk, injury talk. The floor is yours.
Well, I would say the injuries. I mean, I felt bad for you guys when I torn ACL and PCL because I seen how it goes with that, and it takes some time, maybe even months, maybe up to years. So it's like it just depends. Even with Chase Young, he's now on the saying he's on the pup list now. Reserve pup list except for what's his name? Logan Thomas. He's been on the pup reserve for since.
Are you a Washington fan?
Yep. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I know that I saw, was it yesterday or earlier today? I saw the Chase Young tweet. Yeah. I mean, Chase Young has been battling injuries for a couple years now, man. How you feel about? Do you think that this is a serious one for him? Do you think he could recover? What's up with it?
Well, I feel like he could recover, but it just depends on how he feels on that. I mean, I don't want him rushing because if he rushes on that, which I'm glad Ron Rivera was like, no, let's not rush him. Let's let him take his time to heal up and see how he feels on it. Because I don't
Mm-hmm.
want him rushing and then getting injured again on this probably the same spot of that knee, or probably injuring his other knee and or his arm or something. Then it's gonna be injuries, and I don't want that to happen to him or any players that are
Mm-hmm.
pros. So yeah.
I'm with you there, man. Chase Young, he's entering his third year, yeah, same year as Andrew Thomas, entering the third year. I mean, and Thomas has dealt with injuries as well, and Thomas has had so many surgeries on his like ankles and lower foot. Like, I hope that both of these guys could stay healthy because like that is a potential great iron versus iron matchup in the NFC East that I would look forward to see every year.
Well, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. What about we could talk a little bit Washington football if you want, man. Go ahead, bring up a topic. Let me see what we got.
Mm, I would say Terry McLaurin. I mean, I seen him doing well, but
I mean, he's a
he
top
has
10
not been
receiver in the league.
recognized on the rankings. So,
Really? Like,
yep,
he wasn't on the NFL top 100 or anything?
nope. It was only Jonathan Allen and Cowboys and Eagles, and then the rest of the others.
I don't want no Giants fans in here to call me a Washington fan because what I'm about to say, but I legitimately think Terry McLaurin's the top 10 receiver in the league. And if he
Thank
didn't
you.
make the top 100, I'm actually surprised by that.
That's what I'm saying. It's been like
He's
what, two
deserving of a
years?
top 100 spot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I do appreciate it, man.
the man has listen. He's been putting in work with mediocre to bad quarterback play, in my opinion. He's been putting in a lot of work.
Thank you. Yes, and he hasn't, and nobody recognizes him. And it's just like,
Do you think that like there's an off chance he's somehow on the whatchamacallit in the top 20, or you think there's no chance?
man, I feel like he could be up there, but I don't know. Like I said, the NFL probably either hates on Terry McLaurin or just don't want him to be there. Because I don't know. Might be too drunk to even understand. I don't know. I mean, all I know is I feel like Terry McLaurin deserves more than what the other. Well, not like I said. I love Jonathan Allen. He deserves more too, but I want Terry McLaurin as much too. You know, both of
Mm-hmm.
them deserve more. I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh no, Jonathan Allen doesn't deserve it," or "No, Tim McCoy deserves it, but not Jonathan Allen." No, both of them do. But it's just not fair seeing others get more, but not Tim McCoy. Now, come on, bro. This man has done a whole lot.
No, I feel you. That's
1K,
the way I feel about Andrew Thomas. I feel like last year he earned a top 100 spot because he came out and like the improvement from his rookie year to what he was last year, and he was a legit stalwart. And I feel like he didn't get recognition. So I feel you on some account.
yeah. So hopefully, probably this year to the next year, they'll probably recognize Tim McCoy. I want
Mm-hmm.
that to happen. I hope.
Awesomeness Sports. Let me get your last thought right here. I got a 651 MIT up next. What a username though. But let me get your and is Awesomeness Sports? Are you also a sports YouTuber as well, or is that just your username?
Yeah, I'm a sports YouTuber as well. Yes, my
Go
channel.
ahead. Yeah, let us know where we can find you.
You can find me at Twitter and on Instagram, but you could also literally just find me basically on Twitter because I talk Washington and everything. There are Washington, just everything, Nationals, Mystics, Capitals. Which you can see on my avatar. Commanders, Wizards. Then you have Arsenal. Then you have the international soccer team and DC United. You can find me there too. Uh, yeah, and WWE. So I mean, now I do everything like that that I present. But yeah,
Hey man, thank you for calling in, bro, and have a great night, man.
all right, you too. Peace, man.
Peace. Next up, we got 651 MIT. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Was
Second
good.
time calling. Second time calling.
Second time?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't remember the first. I apologize for that, man. I feel like I'd remember a username 651 MIT. But what's up, bro? How you doing?
I called it before. My only concern again when I called before about Wink, about his defense, about not adjusting. I hope and pray he don't leave that cornerback one-on-one trying to blitz, because that cornerback, he can't even cover these backup receivers. And I think it's everybody excited about Wink, like I told you before. His problem was in Baltimore was the fact that he didn't adjust. And I see him still trying to play these corners man to man, but I don't know if this just his basic scheme is for the preseason. But I'm worried about this defense going to be giving up a lot of passing yards. I don't want to. I mean, we can have 60 sacks, but if we're giving up 300-400 yards a game, we're gonna lose.
I'm with you there. And shout out to Vibes, man. I love Vibes. He's one of my dudes. He's in the chat as well. But I'm with you there. I think that's what it is. What it's gonna come down to is I don't think we got the personnel this year to if Wink is gonna stay with what you're saying. I don't think we got the personnel to be successful. But what I'm gonna hope for is that the red zone defense stays stout, so that teams won't be able to score on us.
And that was my problem when I called in your show like a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is with Wink is I hate coordinators that say, and this is why I like Graham. I hate coordinators that say, okay, this is my scheme and this is what I'm gonna run. Even though you don't have the personnel, you still gonna try to run your scheme. One thing I can say about Patrick Graham, and you guys can say whatever you want about Patrick Graham.
Patrick Graham's that dude.
Patrick Graham was a blitzing coordinator. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
He used to blitz, but when he realized that he didn't have the scheme to blitz, he adjusted his defense. And I'm afraid Wink is not going to do that.
For the first year, I'm with you, because that was a great talking point that I brought up a lot. In 2020, he did. In 2021, we saw he went back to blitzing a bit, and we saw how it affected the defense. I got to hope that Wink is a little bit lenient with his own scheme as well. I'm with you there. I got to hope that he is. Because what I'm hoping for is that he says one thing to the media, and then, he is actually lenient. But how did you feel about the way the secondary looked against the Bengals? I think they did look a lot better compared to what they looked like against the Patriots.
They looked a lot better. I prefer McKinney to play the free safety. I know he said he got McKinney. They're gonna have McKinney in the box, and
he did say they're gonna move him around, is what I think he said.
Okay. I prefer like the way Patrick Graham had McKinney playing. Leave McKinney alone at a free safety. Leave him alone at a free safety. I know they said they're gonna move him around, but let him play the free. That's what he was excelling at, that free.
Also, a little bit of a note to that, McKinney, this is from McKinney himself. He did say he wants to move around a bit. He wants to blitz a bit. I feel like I'm with you. He had his best year last year, his second year at that spot. I think there's a balance that could be met because he was both at college. You know what I'm saying? He was both a ball hawk and a thumper at college.
Yeah, but I mean, as a coordinator, you got to realize what's your strength. I don't care what my players say they want to do. I seen McKinney blitz with Patrick Graham a couple times, and then I wasn't impressed. It wasn't a Troy Polamalu. I wasn't impressed. McKinney's best attributes were playing that free safety. That was his best. I don't care what anybody said. When he was playing that free safety, he locked all that shit up. Remember, before Patrick Graham, tight ends used to eat the Giants' ass up. Tight ends used to Witten, all them tight ends used to have a field day. Patrick Graham shut that shit down. Now, Patrick Graham run defense was trash, but I think that had a lot to do with Blake Martinez and Tay Crowder, but I'm just worried about Wink. Like, I keep seeing that cornerback getting beat. Like even in the Cincinnati game, like it was a couple times that he was being beat. He got beat. So
Now, I
so
think
that's
you're bringing up some valid points right now, and it's a valid concern, one that I got myself, because unless we somehow, some way find some money to sign one of these vet corners available to get some extra help, we're
do
walking
we
into the
really.
season with what we got right now.
That's like, and us Giants, some Giants fans are just so delusional. You're not gonna find a good backup left tackle. You're not gonna find a good backup tackle. I mean, a backup corner. And you're not gonna find a good starting. You're not gonna start. You're not gonna find a good starting left tackle. You're not gonna find a good starting
Wait,
corner.
well,
You're
why
not
would we
gonna.
look for a left tackle right now?
No, I'm giving you an example. Like
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
used to say. Yeah, I'm just giving you examples. I'm just giving you examples. Like how like a couple years ago we were like, oh, we'll find a left tackle before we had Andrew Thomas and Neil. We would say, oh, we have to wait on the waiver wire to find a good left tackle. You know, good left tackles, good corners, and good quarterbacks. They don't make the waiver wire. You might can find a guard, you might can find a linebacker, you might can find a safety.
I
But
think we could
corner
definitely
safety,
find a depth guard, which is what we need. We need depth interior linemen. I think we could find depth interior linemen on the waiver wire right now.
you can find a guard, you can find a center, you can find a D tackle. You're not gonna find a pass rusher, you're not gonna find a
Yeah.
tackle, you're not
What
gonna
we
find a
need is
corner.
that corner. I think we got pass rusher under control. Let me read you a couple names, and you let me know from anybody here if you like any of them. This is the current available cornerback free agent list. Trey Waynes, how you feel on him? Joe Hayden,
He's too small. He been injury prone. He
Chris
been injury
Harris,
prone. I don't know. Chris might. He a veteran. Might.
Kevin King.
Don't know much about King.
He's also the youngest one on the list so far. He's only 27. Xavier
Okay, that's
Rhodes.
He was nicked up. I would put him at safety. He's a big corner. He's a
Mhm.
zone corner. He's not. He can't play man. He's a zone corner. He's a big corner.
Jimmy Smith from the Ravens, so he'd know wing scheme.
Yeah. He know wing scheme. Is he injured? Was he injured or something?
I could look her up right now. Let me see. Jimmy Smith, and then I'll just look up injury.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money
Let me
talk.
mute this for a second. I don't think he has an injury. He doesn't have an injury right now. His last injury was in 2021, which was a neck strain.
Okay,
So he should be good right
he
now.
should be- that can be. I don't think he still got because he's a tall corner, and I know Wink like tall corner, Lincoln corner, so he might. I don't think he could still run step for step, with these receivers. But playing man, playing man to man in the NFL, you got to have corners to play that, man. I don't
Yeah.
care how good your pass rush
There's a
is.
couple more names here though. Let me see if you like. So far, which was the one you liked? I think you said who was the one you said that you might take? Was it Chris Harris? Or was it somebody
Yeah,
else?
Chris Harris. Yeah.
Chris Harris.
Chris Harris.
You said you didn't know enough about Kevin King, but he's the youngest,
Yeah,
so
but
keep
he's
that in mind.
younger, yeah.
Yeah. So the next one on the list, AJ Boye.
Okay, yeah, he was all right. He was all right. He more of a zone corner, but
Yeah. And then there's there's only two more that I'm gonna list here from this list. Vernon Hargraves is currently a free agent.
Vernon Hargrave from the Tampa.
He was last with Cincinnati, so he was on the Super Bowl team just now.
Yeah, he's small. He's small. He's small. He came from the University of Florida.
Mhm.
He's a small corner. Wasn't that fast. I
And then
mean,
the last man on this list, he's an old man, but definitely a vet presence. Richard Sherman.
no, you can't touch him.
Can't touch him.
Especially with that last incident he had with the
Oh, yeah.
domestic violence.
Oh,
the
I
domestic
completely forgot
violence.
about that. Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. His father-in-law almost killed him if he
Mhm.
would have broke down that door.
So yeah, there's a
And it
couple
would've been
dudes here
justified.
that I would definitely explore. Like I take a shot at Harris. I take a shot at King. Jimmy Smith for sure if he could stay healthy. And I don't know, maybe AJ Boye, but we're at a position where it's
Remember-
like, why shouldn't we? Because who do we have there? Why shouldn't we take a shot at one of these guys?
the same time, I mean, we're in the same predicament a couple of years ago when we were looking for tackle. And everybody kept saying, oh, we'll find a tackle in a waiver wire. You don't find tackles in a waiver wire. You don't find starting quarterbacks in a waiver wire. And you don't find starting corners in a waiver wire. We ain't going to have to adjust his scheme. And that's my point.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to adjust his scheme.
Let me get this super chat real quick because it came in while we were discussing. Shout out to Tudo for the $5 super chat. He says, massive salute, Kush and Vibes. Drop by your office to pay proper respects. And for all Giants fans around the world, slap all the boys losers out the door. Thank you, Tudo. Go ahead, 65 MIT. Hello? You there?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, what I was saying was Wink is just going to have just his game.
I'm with you. I will close out the conversation with this. He needs to adjust the scheme. But one of the reasons I'm not too worried with how the defense might look this year is because I'm not expecting us to be making a playoff run this year. I'm expecting us to win maybe 6 or 7 games. You know what I mean? And like, this team clearly has pieces that it's missing, and that will come in the next offseason. Is kind of where my mindset is at.
I think realistically, I will tell you not by the defense. I will tell you how the offense is looking by week 4.
Mm-hmm.
If the offense is watchable, and if the offense can put up numbers, I think we can make the playoffs. You know, I want to see the offense with Tony, Barkley, and the other the second round pick on I want to see them on the field.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the field. If the offense can score points, I think we can make a playoff. I think we can make a playoff.
We'll see, because the NFC East is flip-floppy, and we do have, by strength of schedule, an easy schedule.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you know, the Eagles got a talented team but people forgot we beat the Eagles with a trash ass offense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only team that dominated us last year was Dallas. Dallas is the only team that the Giants can't beat in the division. We typically go neck and neck with the Eagles, and if we had,
I think we probably had it. We could have beaten Dallas if Jones didn't have that neck injury in the middle of the game.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody keeps saying, you know, we don't have a playoff chance. All we do is have to beat the NFC East. That's it. We win the NFC East, we can get the playoff.
Yeah, but it's not easy to do that though. Like, especially year in, year out, it's not easy to do that.
It's not easy to be that. But if we had a competent offense last year, I see us beating the Eagles twice, Dallas twice. I mean, not Dallas twice, Eagles twice, and I can see us beating Washington twice. The Dallas will split.
Last year, I wouldn't argue with you, but this year, I don't know. This year, I think if we perform well and execute well, I think we split with the Eagles, split with Dallas, and probably sweep Washington.
Let me ask you a quick question. If the ball was our offensive coordinator last year, what would be our record in our division?
I don't know. I don't really like to do hypotheticals like that because it was a different team last year. You know what I'm saying? It was a different team last year. Plus, don't forget, Daniel was injured for most of the year. So that injury happens no matter what. He was injured for most of the year. We had Jake Fromm at quarterback. I don't know how good Brian Daboll would be working magic with Jake Fromm.
My point is, for a team that had a high school offense, we competed with the Eagles and the Redskins.
Mm-hmm.
It was a high school offense. I mean, that was the first time as a Giants fan I stopped watching the game. I couldn't watch the offense.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally a high school offense. It was 1980s offense. Our formation.
I say 1940s.
1940s, hook, curl. That's
Run
it.
straight up the middle, yeah.
went straight up the middle. It wasn't no creativity. So I'm thinking like, okay,
Money talk.
put Daniel Jones. I don't know how. I'm gonna find out how good Daniel Jones is, but put Daniel Jones in a competent offense.
I have a hot take on Daniel. I say by week 4 we know what's up with Daniel Jones. I think for a month of offense, a month of games in this new offense would be enough for to let me know if he's the guy or not. But we'll have the entire season, of course. But I think by week 4 I'm gonna know. Week 5,
and
week
that's
4.
why I said by week 4 I'm gonna know if we're going to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this offense is competent, you know, I can see us a threat because I like what the ball doing. He's spreading the offense out. Like he creating space between the receivers. I like that so far. Like, you know, I like the
That's
route.
also a lot of that is Mike
route.
Kafka too. Give some credit to Mike Kafka. A lot of the stuff we're doing with the receivers is straight out of Kansas City. So a lot of that is the Mike Kafka's work.
And I think they can run the offense through Barkley. They can run the offense, and I'm not saying physically run the ball through Barkley, but play action screens.
I do think we're gonna run the ball more than Giants fans think we are, though. That Patriots game really told me something, that we might be running the ball more than Giants fans think. And a lot of them, you know, because Dayball in Buffalo didn't run the ball a lot, they think we're not gonna. I think we're gonna have. I think we're gonna have a strong running game this year. Because our depth running backs look good too.
Yeah. And that's why I said everybody keep writing us off. Look, I told my coworker, the Eagles fan, I said, we beat y'all last year with a high school offense. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, you don't have nothing. Y'all was supposed to. We beat y'all with no offense. The Giants beat the Raiders with no offense. So I mean, by week 4, I would know. So,
I'm with you there. By week 4, I would know too. And shout out to Tudo for the $2 super chat. He says the Giants are 11-6 next season. Forget about it. Hey, I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Tudo. That's all I'm gonna say. I still think that our range of wins, I think, is between 6 to 10. And I know that's a big range, but 10 wins will get you into playoffs. That's our ceiling right now. Where I see us landing is right in the middle, 7 or 8. That's where I see us landing, and I'm happy with 7 or 8. That's an improvement.
And that's you got to. Like I said, I can see us beating this year. I can actually see us beating Dallas because we have a competent offense. You know, so all we do is need to win the NFC East. And like I said, the Dallas took a step back. I don't care what anybody said. Dallas took a step back.
Forget Dallas taking a step back. They got Mike. They still have Mike McCarthy as their coach. That alone is enough for me to say I'm not seeing them as a legit threat.
Now, the Eagles got better on paper, but they still got Jalen Hurts as their quarterback. So you know, and then I'm actually
a fan of Hurts. I think he looked good this offseason from what I've seen. I mean, but the Eagles will only go as far as Hurts takes them. Is what it is.
And they actually got the best team on paper. Like on paper, I like their team. You know, offensive line, receivers, best. I like their team.
They got a great pass rush too. People don't realize they have a really deep pass rush.
They got a deep pass rush. Their issue is Hurts. Hurts can't read the field. He doesn't read the field, and he's not accurate. I don't care what anybody say. He's not accurate. He's a running back playing quarterback. So it is what it is. Graham shut that shit down last year. You know, he made Hurts actually read the defense, and Hurts couldn't do it.
All I'm gonna say is the same thing with Hurts. I'm gonna watch the first 2 Eagles games to see if the improvement I saw in training camp carries over to game. That's what I'm gonna say with Hurts.
And with Jones' issue I seen was over my years of watching Jones, he didn't trust the offensive line, and his pocket presence was weak, and that was his issue. Like he didn't trust the line, and his pocket presence was weak. And I think what's the last offensive coordinator name? Garrett.
Yeah.
Garrett fucked his growth up. I thought Jones.
I'm with you there.
I thought Jones would have been above a decent quarterback.
I think that Jason Garrett and Joe Judge. I think Daniel Jones was supposed to be a gunslinging quarterback, and they tried to turn him into a game manager, and that messed with him.
Yeah, that's messed with him. And that one read, and Sherman had him slinging that ball all over the place.
Yeah, he was a gunslinger with Shermer.
Yeah. Even with a bad offensive line, I think Garrett tried to turn him into a Dak Prescott.
I said that last year. I said Garrett tried to turn him into a rookie Dak. That's what it looked like.
And
the sad part is, even though we're in an infinitely better scheme right now with Dayball and Kafka, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go back to being a gunslinger. And I think the best version of Daniel Jones is a gunslinger, but we'll see what happens.
I think it's going to be a mixture. From what I seen from the last game, it's going to be a spread offense, and his accuracy was never a problem. It was his pocket awareness.
There were certain throws he couldn't make that I'm going to be looking for this year, though. Like back shoulder fades and the corner end zone.
And he made the back shoulder pass in the last game. He was making it in the last game, and the shoulder fade. Yes, you're correct. But to me, it was his pocket awareness. Like, that was his biggest issue. Like, he did not feel the pressure. He did not know where the pressure was at. That was his biggest issue.
Yeah, sometimes he held on to the ball too long, too.
He want to hold on to the ball. That one, and I think it was Garrett, that one read. Look at that. Your read is the S receiver. And he will focus on that and like, oh, shit, it's not open. Then he will panic. And by the time he panicked, he's getting sacked because the line couldn't hold up. I think the bowl told him, relax. Read your digress. Because I've been looking at that, and he has been going through his progression to read. And I think that's what he's going to do. I think it's going to be more relaxed. Where Judge and Garrett, like, put a stranglehold on him, like, Dink ain't that. Like, that's not him. He's a gunslinger. He's a thinker. Like, let him go out there and sling that thing. And I think they're gonna open up the offense this year. And like I said, about week 4, I'm gonna know if they're going to the playoff. Like, I think they're gonna take the leash off of them. Take the leash off. This is last year anyway. If you got to see what you got. Let him. If he go in the game and throw 5 interceptions, fine. Let him. This is last year anyway. We got 6 quarterbacks coming out next year that's supposed to be decent. So this, let like some of the Giants fans saying, play Tyrod Taylor. Nah, let's see what the fuck.
Tyrod don't look good, bro. I don't know. No, he does not look good.
I keep telling everybody, Tyrod is just a backup. He's a career backup, and that's okay. That's all he is. He can maneuver out the pocket. Not getting sacked and stinging out. He just throw the ball downfield, and that's it. He's not that. He's a career backup. That's it. That's all.
Davis Webb. I'm not even saying this as a joke. I like the way Davis Webb looked this offseason more than Tyrod.
But that's why they brought Davis Webb in. He know that the ball offense.
Mm-hmm. Davis Webb, also keep your eye on him. He may be an assistant coach next year because he was gonna go into coaching before he came back to be this backup quarterback.
He know the offense. He know the ball offense. Like, you can tell he know it. Like, even when they were moving the ball downfield, like, he was audible and like he knew what play was gonna be called. He knows the offense to a T. So that's why that's why they brought him in. And I like this the ball offense. Like, if Davis Webb picked it up, there's no reason Jones shouldn't pick this offense up. Like, that's why I'm excited. I'm excited about this offense. Like, I don't really care about the defense. Like I tell everybody, by week 4, I'm looking at the offense. That's what I'm looking at. If the offense can score like 30 points again, I'm like, oh, we got it. We got it. Because you can cover up a bad corner. You can put a safety over the top. You can cover up a bad corner.
651 MIT. Let me get your last thought. I got John in the back here. Pop him on next.
I love your show, bro. This is my second time calling. I support. So keep up the good work, bro.
I appreciate the support, man. Without you guys, without the calls, without the viewers, the show is nothing. I always say that. So thank you for the support, man.
It's my second time, man. You gotta remember my name, man.
I'm gonna remember you now. 651 MIT. I'm gonna definitely remember you now, man. Have a good one.
Yeah, I called in. You had a white guy on the show. It was us 3 on the show. I forgot his name.
There's a lot of white dudes that come through here.
Yeah, but this guy, he's real knowledgeable. Damn, what's his name? I forgot his name, but he always come on. He always come on with you all the time.
Was it Nate?
I think it was Nate.
Was it Nate? Yeah.
He always on here with you.
Yeah. Vibes and even the chat is saying it was Nate. Yeah. Okay, everybody's saying it's Nate. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He can. I was on there with him, and I'm like, yeah, these guys know what they know what they talking about. So it was like a dope conversation. So I'm like, I seen you on again. I can't catch you all the time sometimes, but I hit notify me when you come on now. So when you come on, I'm definitely gonna be keeping in contact during the football season. See your intake of it, see your intake of it.
For sure, man. Like I said, I appreciate it, bro. And don't worry about if you can't make it. Everybody got lives outside this, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. All right, bro.
Have a good one, man. Peace.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Jean Mike. I know I seen you in the back, but I'm just trying to get people that didn't get a chance to call in yet, man. Jean, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Good, man. Good. How are you, man?
I'm good as well, bro.
Yo, I'm like every other Giants fan, man. I almost had a heart attack when Kayvon went down.
Bro, you saw the way his knee went?
But like, oh my god! Like,
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I was super scared. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I thought he tore his ACL. The way his knee bent looked so unnatural.
I thought
I
he
was
busted
very
his
scared.
whole entire knee. Forget the ACL. His whole entire knee was just gone.
Yeah.
But you know what? Dirty play, not dirty play. I really don't care. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like it was too much for a preseason. Regular game, okay, fine. I could chalk it up as it's a regular game in a regular
Bro,
season.
even
Go
a
ahead.
Cowboys player, Micah Parsons, even tweeted out, "Why are you cut blocking in the preseason?" And he was like, he said it should be illegal because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's a legal block. It's a legal block." I don't care that it is a legal block. It's a dirty play.
Yes, because it's in the preseason. Like you're not put. I know. Our tight end did the same thing. Either a couple plays before or a couple plays after, and everybody was finally saying like, "You see, Bellinger did that. It's okay." I'm like, "No, it's not okay. It's just the way that whatever that tight end's name was."
Thaddeus Moss,
just,
bro. He's Randy Moss's son.
Yo, I almost put a hit on him. I'm so dead serious.
Nah, I already put a hit. Yo, listen, me and Ash, bro, we're gonna drive up to Cincinnati soon. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Yeah. But I just want to see. When it comes to the offense, I really think we could possibly go 9 wins at best. I don't feel like we could win. We could go double digits, but I feel like we could win some games because we're not really going to face a whole bunch of good defenses besides the Packers and Baltimore. Because even with Baltimore, it's like we don't really know. Is it the Ravens that we're also facing?
Yeah, we faced the Ravens this year.
Yeah, so it's just like I don't know.
Let me
what the
double check.
Ravens
I'm
gonna do
pretty sure we do. Hold up.
defensively.
Let me double check. I'll bring up the schedule right now, but I'm like 90% we do. So our schedule right now, Packers. Yeah, it's Packers then Baltimore back to back.
Yeah. Like when you look at the schedule, what defense actually says, "Oh, they can actually stop us no matter what we do"? Like maybe Tennessee and the Packers.
No, I
After
would
that's
say
like
I give some
question
respect
mark.
to Tennessee for sure. Cowboys I'm iffy on just because I don't like the team in general this year. Definitely the Packers, definitely the Ravens. I'd give some respect to the Lions. I'd give some respect
No,
to the Eagles.
no.
And
Well,
that's probably it.
we beat the Eagles with a broken neck of a quarterback. Like, come on now. I don't want to
Listen,
hear
I
that.
agree with you, but the Eagles have what is, in my opinion, the best pass rush in the NFC East right now. Like that thing is much improved this year.
Okay, and against the Giants, they basically done nothing. Like literally, the Eagles have only won like on a drop pass.
I'm saying they added somebody this year, bro. We haven't faced the pass rush we're about to face this year from them.
So nah, I'm not scared of the Eagles. I'm really not. Like I feel like our division could get it, and we could at least split with the Cowboys. I wouldn't mind that. I want to sweep the Eagles, and I feel like we're definitely gonna sweep the Washingtons. So it's just like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, but you wanna know a hot take? I
What's
feel
up?
like we could beat the Cowboys thanks to that Thursday.
The Thanksgiving game?
Both.
Oh, you think we could sweep them?
Yeah.
Okay, let me hear how we do it.
Offensively, what are they gonna do? Because apparently, it's basically Pollard. It's Pollard's not winning the ball because I really feel like Zeke is kind of like he's not washed, but he's just not the same. He doesn't put the fear of God in me like he used to. And then if you just at least double team, what's that other wide receiver's name? I forgot. Come on.
CD?
Yes, there we go. If we just at least, I don't know, put more coverage on CD and make Dak throw it to his other wide receivers, like, can they really do anything?
I feel like we're underestimating the Cowboys' offense a little bit.
Yeah, you're probably right, but still, it's just like they lost a lot of weapons, good weapons on the offense.
They lost Amari,
Defensively,
of course, which is a huge blow to them. But other than Amari, who did they lose?
I know that that other wide receiver still is coming from, and I think it was a 20 CL, right?
Who? Let me see.
It was CD, Amari, and then they had the other one. Yeah, I think it was Gallup. Is that his name?
Let me check on Michael Gallup real quick. Yeah, Michael Gallup. But they did draft Jalen Tolbert, who I think he's somebody I wanted the Giants to draft, actually. Super underrated.
Yeah, isn't he the one that did that, what? I think it was an 87-something yard return.
I'm not sure if it was him. I'd have to check. Yes, thank you, Taj. Not weapons, but on the O-line, they lost Lael Collins. That's, I think, the biggest loss over the offseason, their O-line.
And people have been saying the Dallas offensive line has just kind of been on the down year. So it's just like, I feel like we have a chance against any team in our division.
Mm-hmm.
And, people needs to relax against Daniel Jones in training camp, and it's like, just wait until the regular season and we'll see what happens. Because I think it was Thursday and Friday. Wink didn't do a lot of blitzes against the offense and kind of taught the defensive players more of formations and whatnot. And two practices back to back, DJ was like, "Oh, DJ's good." DJ had a good practice on that Thursday and Friday. So it's just like, everybody just calm down. It's like the offense won't face that type of blitzing defense every Sunday. So it's just like, just calm down, let the season begin. We'll see what happens. And I feel like if DJ does enough to get a franchise tag, he most likely will get a second contract.
I don't think he's going to get a franchise tag. I think it's either we give him the contract outright or he doesn't resign. That's what I think is going to happen. That's just me, though, because I don't think the franchise tag is sensible next year. Either give him the long-term contract. That way, you could. I know we all hate backloading contracts, but it might be necessary next year, especially if Saquon goes out as well, and it's like you got to re-sign both. So if you franchise tag him, you're gonna be in a pinch to re-sign Saquon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but it's just like if for whatever reason what happens after this upcoming season, if we're not in a good position to either trade up or just draft a quarterback at our position, then we're kind of doomed, because now we're hoping and praying that DJ takes whatever contract that we give him, and hope that he doesn't go to some other team that's giving him more money.
Well, in that situation, you're saying he balls out?
I'm not saying no. I'm just saying that's a scenario that I gave, that if he does enough to get that franchise tag, because you said that even if he does good enough to get that franchise tag, we probably won't give it to him, because we probably would like to give him that long contract.
I think it's more sensible to give him the long contract, but let me kind of clarify a little bit. I think that the only way DJ is on this team next year is if he completely balls out and gets like a legitimate long-term contract. I mean, like a 4 or 5 year deal, not like a 2-3 year deal where we've seen, like, for example, Kirk Cousins do with the Vikings several times. I think the only way he stays here is if he goes out there and we see the 10 times better version of Daniel Jones that we've seen over the past couple of years.
And I agree with you. It's just the problem is the way we look at our schedule. Like, we probably might win some games that doesn't really help us drafting a quarterback unless we're gonna send away our players and picks. So it's just like it's either you wish for DJ to just suck for the whole entire year, so we can get so we could draft a quarterback, or he plays well and we give him that long contract. It's just
There's not just two options though. That's where I disagree. There's not just two options. If say we end up being a 7 or 8 win team, which is once again what I see this team being, we're not going to be in a position to draft a quarterback unless, like you said, we start giving up something to get, to move up there to get a quarterback. But that's what the job of Joe Shane is, right? The job of Joe Shane isn't to hope for the team to tank so that he's in a position automatically. He has to figure out some type of way to get us in a position. But if we're not going to draft the QB, you could sign a QB. Like, there are ways to get a quarterback in the NFL, but I don't think we're gonna be super good where DJ gets the contract. But I also don't think the opposite end of the spectrum. I think the worst team in the NFL this year is probably gonna be the Seahawks or the Bears, right? I don't think we're gonna be nearly as bad as them.
Oh no, we're not. We're gonna be at least middle of the pack or a little bit. We're probably I don't know. I want to say 15, 16, somewhere around there. But it's just I don't know. I just want the season to start already, man. I already have goosebumps just thinking about our first game.
I'm with you. But, John, let me get your last thought, man. And I'm going to close it out here, hitting that 90-minute mark.
You think this is it for our starters? We're not going to see them this Saturday?
Yeah.
If any one of our starters play, I quit. I'm done. I'm just going to be like, why are you doing it?
Yeah, I don't want them to play this Sunday just because of the injuries we had this past game. I don't want to take any risks. I just let Davis Webb and Tyrod Taylor cut it up out there, man.
But I don't know. I feel like DJ should at least the first starting offense should at least get one drive and one drive only, and then that's
if they do,
but I have no idea.
If they do, we rest all the starting linemen because of how thin our offensive line is right now. Once again, we're on our 7th center. That's a lot of players that we ran through. And Andrew Thomas is coming off yet another ankle surgery. We know Andrew Thomas is going to be good. Let him rest. You know what I'm saying? You want to put Evan Neal out there? Sure, put Evan Neal out there. But there's some players that I would really want to see take a rest.
But you do know if we do that, and DJ's the one starting, and he has a bad drive, people are just gonna hop all over him. Like, you see, he sucked, even though.
I mean, yeah, there's always gonna be fans that straight up hate him, and that's what you're describing. There's always gonna be fans that straight up hate him. There's nothing we can do to control that.
Nope, there's not.
You know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be those fans.
All right, man. It was nice talking to you again. Have a good one, and let's pray that we win some games.
For sure, man. Have a good one, John.
You too, man.
Mike, I know you're back there, bro, but I gotta close it out. I hit my 90-minute mark. I gotta dip out now. Shout out to everybody that called in. Thank you so much for taking the time to participate. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Vibes. We definitely gonna get our thing started. Hopefully not the therapy sessions, but maybe celebration sessions this year. Thomas Price in here as well. G-Man for Life. Book and Tackles. Bo Carr. Super Taj. Tudo was in here as well. Island. Just scrolling up. Flex Lopez. Yuri Lando. Wait. Jay Fed. Everybody that was in here, man. Bernie. AJ. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Means the world. That's it for now. Hopefully the Giants get something rolling right here and we get a good game this Sunday against the Jets. I personally want us to lose. I know that sounds crazy, but teams, except for the Ravens, teams that go undefeated in the preseason do really bad in the regular season. Look it up, yo, with the exception of the Baltimore Ravens. So let's go 2-1 instead of 3-0. Sounds weird, but trust me. And of course, tomorrow night on Kid Blues Young Guns with Lauren as the guest. That's it for now, guys. Peace.